Hello and welcome to another edition of Careers in STEM. And today we're going to be talking about engineering. And this presentation was put together by a former student of ours, Alexander Huerta, who graduated from University of Southern California in 2018. So he studied engineering there. Okay. So this is an introduction of himself. So his name is Alexander, and he graduated from GHS, Gainesville High School in 2014. And at the time of him making this presentation, he was a junior at the University of Southern California, and he studied civil engineering with an emphasis in building science. So this means he learned how to build and design buildings, learn architecture and design, beams, columns, and several components that go with buildings. So for his extracurricular activities, he was the president of Rotaract. He was the house manager of Sigma Phi Delta. He was part of the Trojan Marching Band, a member of the Earthquake Engineering Research Institute, and a part of the Construction Management Association of America. So he was quite the busy student. He had a lot of extracurricular activities going for him on top of his, workload as an engineering major. So why did I choose engineering? Why did he choose engineering? So he chose engineering because he likes the application of physics and math to the real world. So if physics and math are areas that interest you, engineering should definitely be a path you should look into. He also chose engineering because he wanted to work with structures, and he was very fascinated with bridges, skyscrapers, and other ginormous structures. There's job security in the field of engineering as well, and in short, he really does enjoy what he studies, and he can see himself working in the industry. If any of these points apply to you, engineering is definitely a field you should consider. Okay. So his favorite and least favorite things about his major. So his least favorite things is the fact that he has a lot of work. Sometimes he has to pull all-nighters to work on a project, and has to stay up late doing homework. He has a lot of classes, and there's never been a semester he takes less than 16 credit hours, which is quite the workload. So we can deduce from what he's saying that it's a hectic, it's a very hectic major if you decide to do it. Some of his favorite things, he enjoys the fact that he gets to learn about nearly every system in the building, except for plumbing and lighting and fixtures. His junior and senior level classes are very applicable to the real world. By the time he graduates, he should be able to design a home, which is rather impressive. He has developed a taste for coffee, which I'm assuming is because of the all-nighters he has to pull all the time. And all his hard work does pay off. And so it's a field that has a lot of it's very rewarding. You get to see the effects of your work in real time. So some typical engineering majors for people who are considering pursuing a career in engineering. Some of them include civil engineering, designing structures. You work with buildings, dams, roads, and bridges. You also have a chemical engineering, which applies chemical processes to engineering. So you get to design batteries, petroleum processes like a fracking, and then you create things like Rockafall. So chemical engineering. Then you have computer science, which deals with code and software. And so you get to design apps, programs, and pretty much anything you can design with code. Then you have computer engineering, which deals with the hardware of computers. And so you design the actual parts that go with the computers, like the hard drive, processor, keyboard, what have you. Then you have mechanical engineering, when you learn to design moving parts. So most general, it is the most general of degrees, and so you learn, several aspects of engineering, borrows from every work. So you get to design things like robots, cars, appliances, weapons, pretty cool stuff. And then more majors, you have aerospace engineering. It is mechanical, but this deals with flying bodies. You design planes, rockets, and satellites, and stuff that go in space. You have biomedical engineering, which is mechanical, but incorporates a little bit of life science. So you get to design pacemakers and heart monitoring systems and prosthetics for human bodies. In industrial engineering, you design factories and processes. Electrical engineering, which is like electromagnetic manipulation, you design electronic parts. And apparently this area is very math heavy, so you need to know your math going into this field. You have environmental engineering, which is an engineering that deals with the environment. He said he's not quite sure of what this field entails, but I like to assume that it looks at engineering from a perspective that is environmentally friendly. So you design processes that will not harm the environment, and if anything, will benefit the environment. Okay, so he's given us a sample of his schedule as a civil engineering major, and you can see he's quite busy. He has something to do every day. So the blank areas you see are when he doesn't have school or extracurricular activities. The green boxes are his school time, the classes time for classes, and then the gray boxes are extracurricular. So you have dinner with his fraternity. You have his board meetings with his club and other organizations, and his band practice on the weekends. So you are quite busy as an engineering major, but there are also pockets of time where you can fit in other things like studying time and time to prepare for tests and yeah. Okay. So these are a list of classes he's taken. He's during his freshman year, he did coding, chemistry, calculus, and physics. But then if you look at all through his 4 years, there are classes that do not necessarily that aren't necessarily engineering classes, and so that is what I will encourage you to do. If you do take a science heavy major, I would recommend you take classes that are outside um, outside your major if you can, so that it gives you a little something to look forward to. Not that you don't look forward to your classes, but it's just a little bit of variety to keep things interesting. So for him, he's doing something like Russian literature, which has nothing to do with civil engineering. So that will, I'm assuming, keep his schedule interesting. Then his sophomore year, he did philosophy. That's rather interesting. And then his junior year, he did film and history. Then his senior year, he did guitar. So you can mix it up. If your schedule does permit, you can mix it up and take something outside your major, and so that it kind of broadens your scope of knowledge and keeps your experience interesting. Okay, so how to prepare for engineering? So he's recommended that you do well in your classes. So like your English, math, physics classes, he's recommending that you perform well in those classes, as those classes are the foundation that sets you up for whether or not you're going to succeed in that career. You want to build a very strong foundation before you actually take on an engineering major. So and the next recommendation is to push yourself. So take epic classes, take challenging classes, study properly for the SAT and ACT. That way you can score high and be able to go to a good university and get scholarships to pay for your education, as opposed to taking out loans and the drill. Okay. So his plans after graduation, he plans to go to graduate school in architecture. And so he wants to be, his final goal is to become a professional engineer and a licensed architect. And then that way he can find work in an architecture or engineering firm where his extensive knowledge of buildings will help him you know be a liaison, or help with coordination between architects and engineers and contractors. So he does have a promising career ahead of him, it appears. And another of his plans is to get a dog, which I think is really cute. Okay, so here he has given us some drawings of houses he was able to design while in college, and this is a beach house he designed. So you can see the floor plan. This is the roof of the triangular house that he designed. This is architectural plans for the triangular house. And there's some calculations for the house. And these are the renderings, physical renderings of the triangular house. I think it's impressive. This is an engine design his friend, an aerospace major, did. Really interesting. So he has gracefully provided his contact here. So if you have any questions for him, please feel free to, shoot him an email. Don't call him at odd hours because we all need our sleep. But yeah, go ahead and shoot him an email if you have any questions about, engineering or just into college in general. And he'd be more than willing to answer your questions. And nothing, that is all. That is all I had for y'all today. Keep your spirits alive, keep fighting. And you got this. I'll see you in the next episode.